conqueror, God will open up opportunities, amen, for him to take you higher in God. When you begin to accept the fact that you are much more, God will begin to take you higher in your faith level, amen. God will begin to move in your life like never before, amen. God will begin to blow your mind, amen. God will begin to set you up for some blessings, amen. You don't even see them right now, amen, but some blessings are sitting in front of you, amen. You don't even think about it right now, but some blessings, God is getting ready to do some things for you, amen. God is getting ready to bring some families back together. He's getting ready to mend up some broken homes, amen. He's getting ready to open up. I can see the windows of heaven opening up, amen. Where are the conquerors in the house, amen? Are there any conquerors in the house, amen, that want to stand up and tell the Lord, thank you for much more, amen? Where are the conquerors, amen? Say, Lord, I'm willing to do whatever you need me to do because I know whatever it is, I'm more than a conqueror. God will create obstacles just to show you how much more you are. God will bring you through some things just to show you how much more you are. Understand me. I'm almost finished, but understand me that the book of Romans was written in the Greek language, amen. And the word conqueror is to be understood as hupra nakayo, amen, which is to say that you are surpassing victoriously. Amen, which is to say that you are a hyper conqueror, amen, which is to say that you are a super conqueror, amen. So you mean to tell me, preacher, that God says I'm a super conqueror, then he says I'm more than a super conqueror, amen. Look, that's simply, God is going to blow your mind every time, whatever you think about it, and he says you are more than a super conqueror. A super conqueror is somebody that's already surpassing the victories that he's already won, amen. But God says, I'm getting ready to take you higher, amen. God says, I'm getting ready to do some things you've never done before, amen. God is saying, I'm getting ready to open up some doors. I'm getting ready to shut some doors. I'm getting ready to do the unthinkable. I'm getting ready to do exceedingly. I'm getting ready to do abundantly. I'm getting ready to do beyond anything you can ask or think. He said, before you even think it, I'm getting ready to pour out. Before you can even ask, I'm about to pour out. Before you even thought about it, I'm pouring out. Before you even came on agreement, I'm pouring out because you have faith in me. And when you have faith in God, that invokes God to make sure that you are a conqueror. Or the conquerors in the house today. If the conquerors in the house, why don't you take a time out and give God some praise? Understand that we are more than conquerors, amen. Why don't you high five your neighbor and tell them much more, much more, much more, much more, much more. I passed the conquering level a long time ago. I'm much more right now. I passed the heartache and the pain. I'm much more. I passed the lies and defeat. I'm much more. They said I never make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. But guess what? I'm still here, amen, because I'm more than a conqueror. If I can go to the Old Testament for a moment and I'm get out your way. Joseph, but before his brothers ever sold him into slavery, he was a conqueror. But it was until the time that he was into the king's palace, he became much more. But Moses, before he ever stood before Pharaoh, he was a conqueror, amen. But the Bible tells me that when Moses stood up his rod and God began to open up the Red Sea, amen, that he became much more. David tells me that before he was ever anointed, amen, he was already a conqueror. But I can see David standing before Goliath today with the slingshot in his hand, and David said, I'm much more. I can see Noah here. Noah said, God ordained me to build an ark, but before I ever built the ark, I was already a conqueror. But when I built the ark, I became much more. Is there anybody here today want to be much more? Do I have any much more Christians in the house? Do I have any much more Christians in the house today? The Bible tells me that Daniel, before he ever prayed with the blinds open, that he was already a conqueror, but it was down in the lion's den that David became much more. Come here, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, before they ever stood before King Nebuchadnezzar, they said, Lord, if you don't deliver me, I'm still going to trust in your name. And they already were conquerors, but it was in the fiery furnace. It was in the midst of hell. It was in the midst of his storm. It was in the midst of trials. You are in the midst of your hell. You're in the midst of your heartache. But I want to tell you today that God has a message from heaven, and he told me to tell somebody that you are much more. Is there anybody that's much more in the house? I want to leave you here, but I want to tell you that you can be much more, whatever it is. God is getting ready to bring you higher. You ought to tell the Lord, take me higher, Lord, because I'm much more. Young people, I want to tell you today that whatever the enemy tries to bring up in your way, you are much more. He may try to bring drugs in your path, but I want to tell you that you are much more than drugs. He may bring alcohol in your path, but you're much more than alcohol. He may bring friends, may walk out on you, but you're much more than friends. Can I tell you, anybody in the house today that's truly much more? And I want to leave you here, but I got one thing to tell you. If we're going to be much more, we have to be willing to give God an eternal yes. Lord, yes to your will, Lord. Yes to your way, Lord. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll do what you want me to do. I'll say what you want me to say. Yeah. Tell the Lord yes. Not just any yes, but a yes on Monday, a yes on Tuesday, a yes, Lord, on Wednesday, yes, Lord, on Thursday, yes, Lord, on Friday, yes, Lord, on Saturday, yes, Lord, on Sunday, yes, Lord, when I feel like it, yes, Lord, when I don't, yes, Lord, when I got heartache, yes, Lord, when I'm feeling good, yes, Lord, when I'm up, yes, Lord, when I'm down. Anybody here, y'all, want to be much more? If you're much more, help me say yeah. Say yeah. Yeah. I know he's all right. I know he's all right. If you're much more, high five your neighbor and tell your neighbor, whatever comes my way, I'm much